So that means the best work for you is the work that best expresses your God-given gifts, abilities, talents, passions, and experiences, and so on. Now, I want to illustrate that for you. I brought with me my toolbox. I hope this table will hold it up. And inside, this is a great toolbox. Inside my toolbox, I've got all kinds of stuff. Anybody have a toolbox at home? All right. So inside my toolbox, I've got all kinds of stuff. I've got a hammer and I've got a screwdriver. All right. Now, what is the screwdriver created to do? Act like a hammer? How many have used it like a hammer? Yeah, I know. Been there too, you know. But it isn't really very effective as a hammer, is it? It works really, really well with screws, but not nails. You know, hammers, on the other hand, work really, really well with nails. You know, pull them out, you know, put them in. Have you ever tried to put a screw in with a hammer? Doesn't work very well, does it? You know, you got the screw and you, bam! Oh, no, it doesn't stay very well, you know. So this was created for one thing, this was created for another thing. You don't mix the two together. Are you getting the picture? All right? So, you know, now I've got a wrench here, all right? I've got a couple things that kind of look like wrenches, all right? I got a crescent wrench and I've got something over here that looks like a wrench, but they're two different things. This is actually a wire cutter and wire stripper, and this is a crescent wrench. Now, I guess you could probably try to use the end, if you could open it up wide enough to, you know, try to, you know, use it as a crescent wrench, but my experience of doing this is that I always strip the nuts off, or the heads of the bolts off. You know what I'm saying? Because I really need the crescent wrench to do that. And I've never been able yet to be able to strip wire with my crescent wrench. Are you seeing this? One was created for one job, the other was created for another job. Are you getting this? Now, the cool thing about this is that with crescent wrenches, you can get into this even deeper. See, I've got a big crescent wrench for the big jobs, and I've got a small crescent wrench for the small jobs. And you know, it's really difficult when you got a big job to try to open this thing up big enough. It doesn't work to open up to get it around there. And this one, if it's a small one, and you're in a small space, you can't even fit it in because it's so big. So I've got, you know, this is how it works in real life. I'm just telling you, this is real life stuff. And, you know, we see this all day long, and then we don't make the connection spiritually. And we think, oh, well, I'm going to go and do this job. Well, is that how God created you? Or is that the gifts that He's given you to do? Is that the passion you have? Is that really the way you were created? No. I'm this, but I'm trying to do this. Are you going to be frustrated? You're trying to do this job, or you were created to do this job, but you're trying to do this job. And you're at the end of the day, you're going, I can't believe it. I don't want to be in this job any longer. Why? Because you're not doing what you were created to do. It just gets that simple. You know, I've got another wrench here. I mean, I love this stuff. You know what this is? Pipe wrench. Some people, you know, it's not really a monkey wrench. There's a little bit different kind of a thing for a monkey wrench, but and don't ask me why they call it a monkey wrench, but I got one of those too. But this one here is a lot different than this one. Even though it's got kind of the same kind of functions, you know, a little bit, you know, where you can put this down, you can open this up and, you know, make this bigger and smaller and all that. And you can kind of turn with this and you turn with this, but it's a lot different. This has the ability to grab a pipe because it's got teeth on it, and you can really crank down on it and turn the pipe or whatever. And then this one on the crescent wrench, it really doesn't work very well on pipes because there's no teeth on it. So you're constantly slipping on the pipe and it just doesn't work. This is for one job. This is for another job. It looks very similar, you know, in a lot of ways, a lot of functions looks very similar, but they're distinctly different. Are you getting this? See, that's how God has created us. Each one of us is created in a distinctly different way. That's why some of you are really good at teaching and you're teachers. Some of you are really good at numbers, and so you maybe went into engineering, or maybe you're into accounting. You know, you take that calculator, and man, you're up and down with that thing. You know, if I did that, I'd have a broken hand. And you can ask my wife if I'm good at numbers, and she'll tell you no. The only way I'm good at numbers is spending them. Some of you are really good at that stuff. Some of you are really good at cooking. How many of you are really good at cooking? See, you need to invite me over because I'm really good at eating. All right? So that's the way God has created us. And the reason why He's created us all distinctly different is because if He made us all the same, a lot of jobs would not get done. What if we were all hammers? What if all of us were hammers? Huh? Be a lot of hurting going on, wouldn't there? Because there'd be a lot of screws that are being hammered in that shouldn't be hammered in. You know, there'd be a lot of broken windows. You know, there'd be a lot of holes in walls. You know, there'd be all kinds of stuff going on. You know, have you ever tried to put carpet in with a hammer? Doesn't work too well. You know, your knee would be sore, your knee would be broken. You know, that's why God has created us all distinctly different, because there's lots of work that needs to get done, and if we were all the same, a lot of work would never get done. Does that make sense? So here's what I want you to do. Turn to the person on your right and say to them, I am so thankful you're not like me. Now turn to the person on the left, turn to the person on your left, and say to that person on your left, one of you is enough.